There's something out there waiting for us, and it ain't no man. Here's your look at the Diamond Select. This is the Predator PVC Diorama Gallery statue. Deep in the jungle, several bodies have been discovered skinned and hanging from trees. Although who or what could have done this is a mystery. Military covert specialist Dutch and his team are called in to eliminate the threat. But once in the heart of the menacing jungle, they discover something far worse than they could have ever imagined. The Predator, an alien which has come to Earth with cloaking technology, extensive combat skills, and a desire to hunt humans for sports. This PVC diorama of the Predator is based on his appearance in the 1987 Predator. It is made of high-quality PVC and features detailing, sculpting, and paint applications. The first thing I'm going to be in the market to do is to provide you guys the necessary 411s, just how tall the Predator Gallery statue stands. I know I get lots of comments from you members of the mob thanking me for providing such the service so that they know, so you know, how tall these collectibles stand should you be wishing to display them on your shelf. To that and the many comments that I do get, let me just answer with anytime. That's a Predator reference. According to my trusty tape measure, the Ultra Measure-Tron 5000, you're looking at the Predator Gallery statue standing 10.6 inches in height. That's not bad at all. And in centimeters, then you're looking at the statue standing 21.1. I thought that was a 7. That's silly of me. 27.1. So a little over 27 centimeters tall. Using the technology that is at the disposal of this very modest studio and of the skill set of producer Tony, yes, thumbs up producer Tony, I'd like to send out a big intergalactic thank you message, far-reaching what I thought was the boundaries of space and time, to the folks over at Diamond Select who were nice enough to send a sample my way. If you are in the market of picking up the Predator for yourself, didn't mean spit all over you, you should be able to find him right now through various online sites. As of course, again, due to this and due to you can't go to a local comic book store right now. They are all closed. But let's have a look at this splendid release of the Predator, and first thing we'll have a look at is the display stand that the Predator's perched atop of. I'm spitting again, apologies for that. The base itself looks like sort of the muddy area in which Dutch surfaces after plunging what seemed to be an unbelievable height. You can imagine Arnold Schwarzenegger was not doing that stunt. But this sort of looks like the area, the muddy terrain area. I don't think it actually has. If you'd screen capture this, I don't think you could match this specifically to a place in the movie. But that's the place I'm going with in my imagination. You can see there is some rock terrain, very nicely colored in a two-tone effect, using a more lighter beige brown and a darker brown, sort of mingling among one another. You also see a few little, I don't know if those are vines. They kind of look like grassy vines or roots extending out from the bottom of this tree base, which does look like it's just more the stump than anything else. You get a bit of moss that's been kind of sponge painted across the surface in some areas here along the top, and along here, the area in which the Predator's got one of his feet against on top of one of the little log areas here. One thing I like about it, though, is it's got a full 360 turn ability to it, so that it looks just as good on the back as it does on the front. And though nothing is really happening on the inside, you know, it's a service, again, I still provide, just to show you guys that inside there's basically just a hollow cavity, which, of course, there is no sculpting or paint happening going for it. This is, of course, a PVC statue, so it's a relatively light statue in comparison to perhaps some of the other resin pieces that Diamond Select are currently dropping like it's hot right now. First thing we'll have a look at for the statue, well, I suppose technically the second thing, as we already had a look at the display base, is the head sculpt that Diamond Select have sculpted to the Predator. Clearly, as you can see, he's wearing his helmeted head sculpt. If you are curious as to whether this can be removed, the answer to that question is no. This is all sculpted. In fact, there is nothing moving or nothing removable on this particular statue. It is all one molded piece. One thing that is interesting about it is the way that they've sculpted the side of the face, given the little markings and wrinkles and spots. You would almost imagine that there was a fully realized head sculpt underneath this helmet, but that again isn't the case. You've got the Predator dreads, of course, running out the sides with the individual gold ringlets, very nicely painted in gold. There's a few little areas which that carry their way into the hair, but it's at a level that certainly from a distance, you're certainly not going to see it. The thing about the head sculpt, though, is I like the helmet. I've always kind of preferred to display Predators if they've had the option to remove their helmets or swap their helmets out. Usually I'll go with the helmeted version because I just like the design of it. Scratches, I gotta believe, are intended on the surface of the plastic. You can see there's a few there, right there as well. And there's a little couple of imperfections in paint. Looks like dark gray has been sort of speckled onto the surface of the plastic. The coloring is actually quite good. The eyes, however, while I do like that they're nice dark eyes, I feel like they could have been sculpted to be a little bit larger. They feel and look like they're a little too thin for the overall helmet. As I said, nothing is really removable, nothing is movable either on this statue, and that also goes for the plasma caster shoulder-mounted cannon, which is always something that goes along with the Predator. It does have a very narrow neck to it, so we want to be very careful of it. And it, of course, does not have anything that can rotate and move on it. It's been nicely done in a silver deco, with again having some dry brushing of black added so that you can see all those detailings stand out. Continuing our way around, the back of the plasma caster is, of course, very securely fitted to its shoulder. And it has the very notable tube that, of course, runs from the shoulder to the gauntlet section. In a way, I kind of would have loved if this could have opened, but again, understanding that nothing really can move on statue pieces 9 times out of 10. And this would also involve them having to tool a separate piece. I certainly couldn't expect that to open up and perhaps show a countdown timer of his self-destruct. I also like a little additional piece. I know I mentioned things that don't really move. This technically falls into the category of things that move. The Predator does have, of course, his necklace of spinal cord as well as smaller skulls. Now, the way that they've intended this, they've got it draped around the side. I haven't done this, I haven't moved this myself, and nor there really is a way to really move this and shift this back around. It just has an actual drape that drapes off to the side. The Predator, like in the film, has his mesh suit, basically a meshing over top of his skin. The skin itself has been painted with additional brown, and again, you've got those little spots of yellow and gray added to it. It's just a really nice looking painted piece overall. Now, I did mention that the plasma caster isn't movable, of course, and it has a very thin stem, so you want to be very careful of it. Something also you want to be on the lookout for is the blades that stick out from his wrist gauntlet here. These don't move, but they are made of a thinner plastic, so you want to make sure you don't clip them, bang them, or snap them, obviously, in any way. You don't want these to be broken off. They are of a very thin plastic PVC, the same material that they use for the rest of the statue. As you can see, again, a lot of cool paint that's been applied to the surface of both the gauntlet as well as the blades themselves get treated to a darker gray over top of the existing silver that's already used. Helmet on the Predator, again, is my preferred look for the character when it comes to figures that have the option to remove the helmet or keep it on. 9 times out of 10, I usually display all my Predator figures with the helmets still intact, just because I like the design of it. It's not to say, seeing that Diamond Select, I feel, have delivered a pretty strong release of their Predator Gallery statue. They simply couldn't re-release this down the road. The terrain could be the same, the body obviously could be the exact same. The only thing that they could do as maybe a convention exclusive is take the helmet off completely, exposing his very ugly face underneath that. And one step further to that, they could also release this statue down the road again, that is. And this is all just possibilities of something they could do, making use of this really stellar sculpt, is again, they could call this a battle damage version of the Predator. Again, without the helmet, taking that right off, and incorporating some bright fluorescent green in some of the wounds that he has in the film. Even though that would be pretty much the same Predator as what we have looked at over the course of this review, I would be jumping to the chance of picking up yet another look of this same stellar Predator, just again unmasked and slightly more battle damaged. You never know, that could be something we may get down the road. Sure, the idea of an unmasked battle damaged Predator is just more wishful thinking on the part of this humbled reviewer. What I mean by that is Diamond Select could easily double dip this. After all, it's already something in their inventory of parts. Re-release this guy with an unmasked head portrait. It would still be something I would pick up, and they could make it a con exclusive to make collectors go hunting to add this one to their collection. See what I did there? Even going one step further, why not release this guy also in an all-clear cloaked version, or getting even more creative, releasing this very same Gallery Predator in a thermal vision look with those warm colors that you see in the film when he's looking through and looking at the heat source of his victims that he wants to kill next. There's a lot of cool potential with this particular Predator. Sorry, I didn't mean to spit again. It is a staction figure, of course, which in other words, that translates to nothing really moving on this piece, other than maybe just for the necklace that is making use of a cording. So of course that has a little bit more freedom to move around. Predator is pretty much stable and stuck in his place. I like the way that they poised him. I like the detailing of the figure, and there's a lot of cool paint applications that they've added to it as well. The only tweak I probably could have made is making the eyes slightly larger on the helmet. I feel like they're a little bit bigger in the movie. In the statue here, they translate to be a little thinner and a little smaller in design. Other than that, I'm really liking the look of this Predator. It's definitely something that's going to go out on display, along with some of my other collectibles of Predator I've collected over the years. Should you be in the market to hunt this one down, I use that same joke again, he is available right now through various online stores. Why I say online is obviously due to the state of emergency we're currently in right now. Comic book stores aren't deemed essential, and because of that, all comic book stores are closed. I know to the argument of many collectors that would say that comic book stores should be essential services. No dice, Jack. No dice. Online market is the best place to go and get this guy right now, should you be in the market to add this one to your collection. A big thank you again to the folks over at Diamond Select who were nice enough to send this sample my way. Today we were having a look at the Predator PVC diorama statue, which looks very, very cool indeed. If you are in the market to also check out some other Predator reviews that this guy has done over the years, there is a playlist designated just to the galaxy's most deadliest hunter. Also, if you guys want to check out some more from Diamond Select, there is also a Diamond Select review playlist as well, where you can see all the stuff that I've reviewed for Diamond Select over the years, and all future videos will be there as well. It's all one neat packaged up place where you guys can check out all the videos that I've done on that specific company. Keep your peepers peeled, members of the mob, because there's going to be certainly a lot more videos coming your way. We're also going to dabble more into Diamond, as there's going to be a whole lot of Diamond Select reviews also coming your way as well. So lots of cool stuff going on while you're currently at home whittling away the time that you have in your hands. Keep your peepers peeled, members of the mob, because like I said, there's going to be a whole lot of stuff coming your way. So as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.